Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester. Panhandle Outdoors, your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors. I'm Winston Chester. I'm so glad you're here. I was thinking right before I came on the air, I always tell y'all I appreciate you watching the show and all, but every day in class, all five of my outdoor classes, when the tardy bell rings, my students walk, the students are in there, I'm getting stand up there in front of them, I'll say, good morning, students, or I say, good morning, seniors, and they'll say, good morning, Coach Chester. Then I say, I'm glad you're in my class today. And then they say, I'm glad we're in here. So it's sort of a ritual and part of our tradition and outdoor ed. So I mean the same thing to you folks as viewers. I really do appreciate you watching the show each and every morning. I get so much feedback, and I'm appreciative of it. And it just makes me want to work harder and harder to just bring you the very best we can in the outdoors, keep everything positive, and just a lot of good things going on. So the weather, talking about good things, the weather's just been, to me, it's ideal. It's really cool mornings, and it's warming up in the middle of the day, and it's high today is going to be 66, low tonight 53. Now get this, water temperature dropped 1 degree to 59 degrees. So it's just great January weather. We're getting into February, and it's going to be, I'm looking at long-range forecast. They're calling for a little bit of rain by Saturday. So we'll see. So just enjoy this good, cool weather while we can. The river readings, the Apalachicola at Bluntstown, like we said, it's going down. It's at 11.1 now, and going to keep on going down. And by Saturday, it's going to be around 9. So it's not going to be a bad day on the river. Choctawhatchee at Carabelle, again, it's going down, not as fast as the Apalachicola, but it's reading a 8.6 this morning, 8.6, and a slow drop. Okay, our tide chart brought to us by Kent Forest Lawn Funeral Home and Cemetery, and it's on here. We're looking on January the 29th. Okay, we got some strong tides coming. We got a low tide at 3:22 this morning, and a high incoming tide all day at 5:05. Now, I'll tell you what's going to help that out is going to be the south-southeast wind at 10 miles an hour. So it's going to be a good incoming tide. It's not going to be a bad day to go fishing if you have a chance. It's going to have a really strong tide. That north wind won't be here, so take advantage of it if you can. All right, let's take our break, and we'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. I told you the other day now, this weekend, duck season is over for all the duck hunters, but the youth duck hunt weekend is this coming weekend. It's Saturday and Sunday, and you can take a young person, 16 or under 16, and just have a great time. I pulled up this map last night. A lot of times in getting people into hunting and all, especially youngsters, you tell them some stories and all about what's fascinating about this wildlife and all, and what's challenging about them. And one of the things that I pulled up last night, this map here is of and I know you can't see it real clear, but all the blue dots, the red dots and all, those are the banded ducks, waterfowl that's been recovered in Florida. And you may not see way up there in Alaska, there's some way up there in the Yukon, up in Alaska, in the Northwest Territory of Canada. Those ducks have flown all the way down the Mississippi Flyway and ventured over here into Florida. And what a challenge! Explain that to a young person what a challenge is to take a game like that. That's been that challenging all along. And it's to me. And I looked at it. You can't see it here. First thing I looked at was Indiana, and because I didn't see any dots in Indiana, but the only banded duck I've ever taken was in Bayou George, and it was banded in Beaver Lake, Indiana. And it was a bluebill. So, I'm sure they got it in the computer somewhere, but that was a little while back. So, tell a young person about that, about how important that is to do that. Okay, now we're going to do some pictures. Let me get set up here. First picture. Okay, we got it on the wall now. First picture is we're going to get some deer hunting pictures. This is that's Kurt Davis. Now Kurt Davis is one on the right. Kurt Davis is a nice buck, and I've known Kurt a long time. Kurt's an excellent gospel singer and a good preacher and all, and just a good man. And he lives up on Deer Point Lake of Bayhead. He usually gives me a duck report. I haven't heard from him. There must not have been a lot of ducks up there. Kurt, good job there. All right, next picture here. We're going to move on along. This is Tony Morrell, the daughter. Tony that's a nice buck there in the back of the pickup truck. All right. This next one's got a story behind it too. This is I got this email from Tracy Smith, and she, on the email, it was headed, said back porch buck. And I was reading, and I wrote, I got the picture here. That's her husband Craig, and I wrote it back because that's a nice buck. It's an 8-point, taken in Red Oak, Florida. And I emailed her back. I said, was it really taken off the back porch? Because I was just fascinated with it. She wrote back and said, yes, he really did shoot it from the back porch. We have a nice little herd coming in from the back side from the deer pasture, and he watches your show every morning. I got to thinking about that. It just struck a chord with me. Back in the day, it was not that unusual to hear of a back porch buck. And I was thinking, I just haven't heard that term in quite some time. It hasn't happened. And I was driving in this morning. I was thinking, well, the reason it hadn't happened, 2 reasons. The hustle and bustle of our everyday life, and it's loud, and not the quietness that we used to have out in the country and all that. And then the second thing, we just don't sit on the back porch and relax as much as we used to, as our generation on, as our previous generations. And I was just tickled to see that, Craig. I want to congratulate you, and Tracy, thank you for sending that email. Always great to have a story to go along with a picture like that. So I was really tickled with that. Good job, Craig Smith. Red Oak. Okay, I'm going to skip these next 2. We'll go into the wildlife photography. We always showing some stuff a lot from Pam Kelly. Pam Peterson Kelly. This is up in Lynn Haven, snow goose up in Lynn Haven Pond. These geese have been migrating. And by the way, I was in a tree stand this past weekend up outside of Eufaula in a place called Hurtsboro. And I was in a tree stand right after daybreak, and I started hearing something. And I said, doggone, that sounds like geese. And sure enough, 2 Canadian geese flew over my tree stand. I heard it from a distance, and I said, well, and so it really caught me off guard. I haven't heard that in years either, but I guess they're not, within 10 or 15 miles of the Eufaula Wildlife Refuge, but there was a pair of them flew out. Of course, I wasn't going to shoot them, but they were really, flew right over me. Now, this next picture got a story with it, too. This, Ken Gainey with his wife, Jill, they're from Tallahassee, and their son and daughter, Austin, anyway, you can read it. They won this boat, folks, and they won it. Remember, I had Chris Paxton on the show last year, and he introduced the FWC Trophy Catch program, where if you catch a bass 8 pound or larger, you can enter it and just catch it and release it, and it sort of keeps up, and they have a contest and all. But anybody can register for a free boat each year. You don't have to catch an 8 pound bass, but anybody can register. And there were about 20,000 people registered in the state of Florida last year. Well, Jill Gainey from Tallahassee won the boat in a drawing about a week or so ago, and I got reading up on her husband, Ken, who works with Leon County Sheriff's Department, and she's a stay-at-home mom, and they just a lucky drawing, and I got tickled because that's look at the perfect picture right there of them in the boat and all, and I was tickled they won. So if you get a chance to join or to enter that contest, it don't cost you anything. So I'm going to enter it for next year too. Okay, some freshwater fish. We're talking about freshwater fishing here. We don't get a lot of freshwater pictures this time of year. This is some brim. Keith Sims and his wife went fishing. Okay, next picture right here. How about, now I've had this couple on before, the young couple. This is Cindy Sheffield, one of my former students. She shot this buck up in Alabama, and that's on the right is her boyfriend, Blake Sutherland, and he's really good about Blake's a great outdoorsman. He's really good about taking Cindy hunting and all, and that's a great picture there. Good job there. And let's see, I've got one more. That's shark. We're going to talk about them another day. Saturday, 2 weeks from now, February 10th, over there at the Biophilia Center. If you think your kids might be interested in astronomy, be from 10 to 3. And okay, that's going to take care of our pictures. Let's go ahead and take our break now, and then we'll come back. Okay, welcome back. Glad you're with us this morning. Got a couple of entrants here. Joseph Sims up there in Sneeds, and his wife Melissa Sims. Okay, we're going to enter y'all in the bucket, and we've got a lot of viewers up there in Jackson County. Appreciate it. Remember, you can enter any time of the year. You can enter. We'll draw all year round, and we're going to have some other stuff too. So, hope you get entered and hope you win something. Okay, one question, follow up on Ken Paramore's appearance yesterday, talking about that Gulf Reef survey. I was looking over last night, and one of the things that I was curious about, and is a question here, so I'm going to go ahead and read it and give you a quick answer to what they're telling us. So why are anglers that are 65 and older required to participate. And according to their statistics, they talk about in Florida, 18% of the population is 65 and over, and a lot of outdoorsmen that age. So that's just a big chunk of outdoorsmen right there. So that's why they want the 65-year-old and older to participate. Okay. Now, going back also on that winning that boat, if you were to catch, if you catch an 8-pound bass and enter it in that trophy catch, they'll put your name in that pot 10 times. So that's ironic. Now, she was not a bass fisherman. She didn't catch a bass, but she ended up winning. So that's one of the good things about that. Now, I have every now and then we get email on some bad things, and we had that boat that was stolen last month. Well, this month it's a rod and reel, and it sort of irritates me, and I get these emails, and I'm going to pass them on to you and see if we can help. This is from Robbie Robinette, who was in my class last year. I know his dad and granddad, and they have the boat, You Gotta Believe, down in St. Andrew. Coach Chester, really enjoyed your class and your show. We would like to report and offer a $100 reward for the return or information on a Pin 2 Speed Go reel and a custom rod, the billfish type rod. That's a big saltwater, heavy-duty outfit, one of the big Go reels you see on the back of all these boats. They were stolen off the boat, Gotta Believe, after Thursday, January 15th. The approximate value is between $1,200 and $1,500. My granddaddy is offering the reward, and the number you can call, I'll give you the number, 234-9409, but you can look up Gotta Believe on the website or in the page, or call me and I'll give you this number back if you have any idea who may have taken this. If you see somebody fishing off the bridge with a big Go reel, that's a little bit out of place, so just report that. That's from Robbie Robinette. Sorry that happened, and we'll do all we can, and I know viewers are good about that kind of stuff too. Also want to report, I've been trying to get in it the last couple of days because I heard about it a couple of days ago. State record Florida black bear was captured and euthanized in the middle of January. The previous record was 620 pounds. This black bear weighed 740 pounds according to FWC. Now, to put that in perspective, the average weight of a black bear in Florida is about 250 pounds. And it was caught around a residential area in Longview. That's around the central part of the state. And they felt like it's been just gorging himself on household garbage and things like that, because a bear will not get that big, by just having a diet of just berries and roots out in the woods and all, and running around in the woods. So obviously he had a little enclave area that he was just sort of staying in, and then coming out there and eating garbage and going back there and not burning off a lot of that energy. So anyway, that's 740 pounds, so that's big. Also, the great white shark, you heard a story on that, and we'll follow up on that. I'm trying to, I went on shark research last night, and there's really not that many sharks reported here in Florida this time of year. They only had like 3 sightings, according to the pings and all they're getting. 2 on the Gulf Coast, and one great white Catherine that we talked about last year is right off Jacksonville now. I want to say right off. It was real close to shore this past week. So we'll keep you informed on the research we get. All right, now, got a little 2-minute video, 2.5-minute video. Well, this is interesting. I was out hunting the other morning. I'm there in Liberty County. And we hunted that morning, had a great hunt, and I was coming through the woods, and I saw something that had a clear-cut area. I'm always on the eyes peeled for some firewood, but I didn't have my chainsaw with me. But I saw some trees had been pushed over that had already separated, so I said, well, I'm just going to go get some, and I throw them in the back of the truck and cut them and get home. I always do stuff like that. So I drove out in there, and I found some nice, good size, nothing huge and all, but I walked around a little chopped area, and you're going to see in this little video exactly what happened when I was looking around getting some firewood. So we're gonna roll this video, then we'll come back and finish up. So Jeff, let's roll it. All right, folks. If I'm breathing hard, it's because I just had an experience. You see, I'm picking up some old firewood. I don't have my chainsaw, but I'm just picking up some scraps, and I'm going over different places, and just it's been a cutover place. Now, I came over here, and let me see. I just jumped back about 3 feet. Where is it? Let me see. I gotta find where I was. Hold on a minute. Okay, here it is. All right, you see that log there? This is just some scrap wood I'm getting. It's, I reached down to see the fork of it. Right there is going to pick up. I want you to look right behind it. I'm going to get, look at here. My finger came within an inch, and that's a little baby rattlesnake. Okay? And wow. I mean, I've stuck my hand right, well, I'm not going to do it. Hold on, I'm going to get a stick. My hand, okay. My hand went right here. Watch this. See, look at there. That's a little. Look at that. Look at that head. That's a diamondback baby rattlesnake, and they are poisonous. He's not going to hit this because he don't feel any heat coming off this stick. But if that had been, see him wiggling right there. If that had been my finger, he would have popped it. Look at there. Ooh, look at that thing. Now that might be where there's a little one baby one. There's more. You just gotta be careful doing stuff like this. I mean, I'm gonna back him up a little bit. Look, back up. Look at here. He don't want to back up. Well, I was gonna show you. I put my finger right here. Now, if I stick my finger down there, he's gonna feel that heat. Watch me move this thing right here. Ooh, they still spooky. Look there. So you be careful when you're out in the woods and trying to. I just get a little bit of scrap firewood on these little broken pieces. It's about the end of the winter. Look at there. He knows. I'll guarantee you there's a nest of them here somewhere this time of year. There's a nest of them. So I'm going to be real careful. I'm just in a cuttable place, and you can see what kind of terrain it's in. Just cut over, and I've been hunting this morning, warmed up, and that's what happens now when it warms up. They'll come out. So always be careful. Unlike me, I almost stuck my finger on them. Okay, welcome back. And you see in that video, you have to be so careful, but it's fascinating how well they'll camouflage. And it was cold, and it was a little lethargic, so it wasn't moving real fast. But it's spooky after you think about it, because you get a bite, and it may not be fatal, but it certainly can make you sick, and at times it can be fatal. So just be careful out there, unlike me. All right, let's take a look at our fishing game forecast brought to us by Mark Cowart of Edgewater Beach Realty. Our time this morning from 7:37 to 9:37, and from 8:03 tonight to 10:03. That morning time would be ideal to be out there. It'll be nice and cool. It'll be a good time to get out. And don't forget, on February 10th, now Mark and Michael Cowart will be doing their redfish clinic over here at Legendary Marine. So don't forget to get out there, and we're going to try to get Mark on the show to talk about it one more time and give you more information on it. This is out now, Fishing Regulation. Ken Pearborn brought this to me yesterday, and looking at it, it's a lot of the same information. I always love this chart here because it breaks it down into categories: your pelagics and your reef fish and your coastal fish. Then over here in the lower right-hand corner, those are the fish that don't have a limit on them as far as size and all. You can get 100 pounds of those fish. It's not a. But go and look, the white trout, the tuna, the jack crevalle. You realize you can get 100 pounds of jack crevalle? I don't know what you want to do with it unless you make a cat food or something with it. But anyway, read up on that. It's interesting. Now, last night I also wrote down the February checklist. Sunday's February 1st, and February is the shortest month of the year, of course, and it's over before it starts sometimes. I always just do a monthly checklist, some of the things I'd like to get done for this month. And February, one of the first things I wrote down, and this is just for all of us in general, remember February is a bass pre-spawning, and I can promise you this coming month in February I'm going to be getting some pictures of some nice bass being caught and released in this pre-spawn, because they're going to start moving around now, and now that's on freshwater. Saltwater, the sheephead, February to me is the best month of all to catch sheephead. It's just they're in that pre-spawn too, and they're getting ready to get it around the jetties, around the rocks and all, around the bridge pilings. It's been a steady flow of pictures the last month or two of sheephead. If you've been noticing on a regular basis, I've been getting pictures. Offshore, if you're going offshore, the AJ bite's going to be the best bite out there. Now, again, we got a little bit of time off in February. I'm going to hunt we'll get to that in a minute, but let's finish fishing. Whiting, I wrote down the whiting bite. That's the number one surf fish there is. We catch a lot of whiting, and also you're going to catch some redfish out there. If you just make one rig, a little bit larger bait, and a little bit out deeper, you can catch some redfish. So we got the whiting, and also the hybrid catch. So Tommy Oliver sent a picture in the other day. He and his wife Sherry catch a lot of hybrids this time of year. So that's what's going on the fishing front, freshwater and saltwater. February is a good month. We overlook it a lot of times because of the weather. Now, hunting-wise, number one on my list is a quail hunt. I mean, you got to go quail hunting in February. One reason going to end, the season's going to end right at the end of the month, March 1st. But February, quail hunt is excellent. There's some public management areas that still allow quail hunting. If you get out and do some scouting, what we do now, you see it on the videos each year. We just get together with some of my high school buddies, and we have a quail hunt on the weekend and all, just like a reunion kind of thing. And I just so look forward to that each year. And we actually haven't quite set a date. It's usually the last weekend or the next last weekend of February, and we'll be meeting. So go ahead and think about your quail hunt. Also, I wrote down on the bottom page here, getting your equipment ready for spring. Your freshwater equipment, your reels and all, and also checking your boat, checking your motor, make sure it's running. Also, I want to make sure my surf rods, because they take a beating throughout the year and all. So spring surf fishing is going to be important. So make sure that equipment's set. Also, we've got in March now. You got spring break coming up, and all throughout the Panhandle County, spring break coming up for a lot of the students and a lot of different people with the school system. I know everybody don't get a spring break, but you're still going to get a little bit of time off in the spring. So go ahead and plan your spring outing. If you have a whole week off, you can do 2 or 3 different things. So all kinds of things going on that you can start thinking about in outdoors. It's not, February is a great month. It's not like a lot of people think. Everything's dead and all in February. All right, gonna wrap it up. Thank you all so much for watching Panhandle Outdoors. We appreciate your viewership, and as always, we ask you to do something good for your fellow man. You have a great day, and God bless.
Thanks for joining us for Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester. Panhandle Outdoors features hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.